13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
All eyes on that potential for severe weather today. I'm going to time it all out for you, take you through our potential threats. That's all coming up.
Anitra Gunn's final hours. That's what witnesses detailed as the trial for the man accused of killing her got underway. What the defendant's aunt says she remembers from 2 years ago.
And honoring Vietnam veterans. That was the topic at a recent Warner Robins council meeting. The decision city leaders made concerning the memorial board.
Georgia Woman of Achievement holds their 30th annual Hall of Fame ceremony this morning. I'm going to tell you how the organization came about and the impact that it's making on women right here in Georgia. That's coming up around 6:46.
Well, good Wednesday morning. You're taking a live look over a glowing downtown Macon, a beautiful downtown Macon as well. The time is now 6:31 a.m. on this hump day, March the 9th. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Wanya Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck. It's not looking too bad out there right now, but of course we know things could be changing as we go throughout the morning, Courtney.
That's right. Yeah, we are going to be watching that potential for severe weather. In fact, you might be seeing it on the bottom of your screen that we do have a tornado watch in effect until 1 o'clock, and I'll show you who that impacts in just a second. Right now, we do have some rain rolling into parts of Bibb County, also moving into parts of Macon County. What we're keeping an eye on is this cell. This one is held together pretty well for about an hour or so now, warranting for a tornado warning that is about to push over the Alabama-Georgia line. If it continues on its path, it might make its way into parts of Macon County within the next hour or two. So just something that we're tracking this morning. We do have that tornado watch in effect for the counties highlighted in red here until 1 o'clock. With that said, be weather aware today. Have a way to receive weather warnings. 13 WMAZ app is great for that. Be sure you go to the settings and turn on notifications because those warnings go right to your phone. And of course, your traditional weather radio. Always important to have two modes of receiving weather warnings at that. Now here's a look at the severe threat for the day. You can see where that tornado watch lines up. That's where our level 2 of 5 threat is, otherwise a level 1 of 5. All modes of severe weather are possible today. I'm going to time everything out for you. It's in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Courtney. This morning, the murder trial and death of Fort Valley State University student Anitra Gunn continues.
Yesterday, the trial formally started in Peach County with jurors hearing from witnesses who described Gunn's final hours. Demarcus Little is the man accused of killing Gunn back in February of 2020.
He's charged with malice murder and faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. According to the prosecution, on Valentine's Day back in 2020, Little's aunt Cherie Tolbert says she heard the couple talking outside her home just after 2 a.m. She saw Gunn and her nephew.
Then the two went into a bedroom in the home. Tolbert says she never saw Gunn again. She says she didn't hear any commotion or struggle, but that she's also a heavy sleeper.
I mean, would something like that killing somebody in your house?
Exactly.
Would you lie for him if he did?
No, I would not. Well, not at all. If he had done, I knew he did something like that, I would have reported it.
Today, Demarcus Little's best friend, Javen Abrams, is expected to share what Little told him about Gunn's death.
Investigators are also expected to talk about how they track Little's phone to the same spot where they found Gunn's body. The trial will pick back up at 8:30 this morning.
Well, a Macon family survives a car shooting. A fire breaks out at a nearly century-old building in Bibb County, and Warner Robins now has a group to oversee a Veterans Memorial project. Let's catch you up on 3 other headlines we're following right now. A Macon family says 4 people ran for their lives when someone fired shots into their car. The Bibb Sheriff's Office says it happened on Forest Avenue around 7 p.m. February 27th. Yesterday, the Sheriff's Office went door to door around the neighborhood looking for answers in that shooting case and others. Fire investigators still trying to figure out what caused flames at the old mill building on Coliseum Drive in Macon. The Bibb Fire Department got calls just after 10:30 yesterday morning about a fire at the building, which sits across from the Centerplex and Marriott Hotel. County tax records showed the building is almost 100 years old. Fire Chief Shane Edwards urges everyone to stay away from the building because it could be unstable. And Warner Robins now has a board to help create a Vietnam Veterans Memorial in the International City. At Monday's council meeting, Mayor LaRhonda Patrick appointed 9 board members, all Vietnam veterans. Together, they'll work with the city on the memorial project. During their meeting, council voted for an outside review of how to pay for the project. The city's currently negotiating with landowners of a possible site for that memorial. It would be near I-75 in Buc-ee's. City Clerk Mandy Stella says they hope to buy the land sometime in the near future.
The time is 6:34 a.m. Russia's invasion of Ukraine leads to a Georgia-based company to take action. Relief could be on the way for drivers here in our state, and Georgia's superintendent has a request for the federal government when it comes to transportation costs. Let's take a closer look at news from across the state. Coca-Cola is now suspending business in Russia. The Atlanta-based company made the announcement on yesterday, saying their hearts are with the people who are enduring the effects from these tragic events in Ukraine. Coca-Cola says they'll continue to monitor and assess the situation as circumstances evolve. The company's decision came alongside growing calls from consumers to suspend operations as Russia continues to invade and attack Ukraine. Governor Brian Kemp says he's working with state legislators to temporarily drop the fuel tax in Georgia. The statement yesterday came hours after President Joe Biden announced a ban on Russian oil imports. It also is following days of rising gas prices that we've seen across our community. As the price at the pump hits drivers' wallets, Georgia school superintendent wants to make sure their districts can keep up with rising fuel costs. Superintendent Richard Woods issued a statement yesterday saying he's immediately calling on the U.S. Department of Education to specifically clarify that school districts can utilize their federal K-12 COVID-19 relief funds to directly cover the rising costs of transporting our students. He says school districts, especially ones in rural parts of the Peach State, need the relief now.
Well, now to bills that lawmakers at the state capitol are considering. A measure aimed at Georgia's mental health care system now heads to the Senate for more debate. The House passed it yesterday. A key part of House Bill 1013 would push public and private insurers to provide the same level of benefits for mental disorders as they do for physical conditions. And a bill to prohibit social media platforms from removing or censoring certain content now heads to the State House for more debate. The Georgia Senate passed Senate Bill 393 yesterday. It declares social media companies with more than 20 million users in the U.S. cannot block people from receiving certain messages based on things like viewpoints, race, ethnicity, religion, or political beliefs. Now, Democrat Stacey Abrams has officially qualified to run again for governor of Georgia. She signed her paperwork yesterday. Abrams announced her run in December and does not yet have any declared Democratic competition. Republican frontrunners Governor Brian Kemp and David Perdue are both expected to qualify in the next few days for the GOP primary in May. All right, the time is now 6:07 or 6:37. We're not going backwards. We're going forward. Apparently, I need more coffee.
That's okay. I was with you yesterday. It took me a whole hour to get my groove going.
Perfectly okay. Nothing is wrong with that. We can get our act together, but
Yes.
It just seems like this weather is having a little bit of trouble getting its act together.
It is. It is. And this whole week, it's not like just today we're going to be dealing with rain and storms. We have several days left of it. So have the umbrella and stay weather aware, because not only are we going to be dealing with the potential for severe weather today, Storm Prediction Center is also keeping a very close eye on Friday night into Saturday morning. But first, of course, we got to cover what you need to know right now. That is a tornado watch in effect for the counties in red here. So mainly south and east of Macon, so south and east of Bibb County. That's where we're going to be watching for the potential for a few tornadoes. This does not mean a tornado warning is happening. It means that it is possible. The warning is when you'll see us come on TV and track storms. Now, we do have a severe threat for most of the area today. The most widespread threat today is going to be damaging wind gusts and heavy rain. That's what most of us will experience in any storms that roll through. But to have a brief isolated tornado, maybe even some hail, that's possible today, especially in those counties highlighted in yellow here, indicated by that 2 out of 5 threat for storms. Here's a look at live radar, what's currently going on right now across the area. You can see that tornado watch in effect. Just rain rolling into parts of Bibb County, parts of Taylor and Macon County. Now that storm that we've been watching over the next, that's okay. We're just making sure y'all were on your toes over there, you know? Making sure you're listening. All right. That storm that was tornado warned now has translated into a severe thunderstorm warning with the wording tornado possible. So we're going to continue to track that, because if it continues on its trajectory, it could make its way into parts of Taylor and Macon County within the next couple of hours. Again, it's no longer tornado warned, but they are using that wording tornado possible. It's all along a cold front that will continue to move through the area over the next couple of hours and ultimately bring us that threat for severe weather. Let's time it out. So as we head through the next hour or so, come 7, 8 o'clock, that's when we're going to be opening up that window of opportunity for severe storms. We're going to be watching those little cells. Sometimes it's not that sweeping line of storms. It's those little cells that you really have to watch, because those are the ones that take advantage of that wind shear and start to spin. So as we head towards 8 o'clock this morning, as you can see, some of those storms starting to make their way into our western counties and then pushing off to the east throughout the morning. Through the morning hours, the late morning hours, that's when I think we're really going to need to be on our toes, watching for that potential for any kind of brief spin up. Again, I think most of us in any storms will experience gusty wind and heavy rain, but you can't rule out a couple of those storms to spin and maybe even produce some hail, especially in our southern counties who are already very, very warm and have some fuel for storms. So that'll allow those cloud tops to get very high and ultimately create that hail threat for us. Thankfully, it looks like a lot of models are keeping all the afternoon activity to our south. That's good news. In the afternoon, what does that bring with with it the heat of the day, so that instability factor as well, more instability. And so if this can play out, that this stays to our south, we bring that severe threat to an end around the lunchtime hour for us here in central Georgia. And then we're just left with some lingering rain as we head into the evening. Speaking of rain, there's going to be plenty of it on the way. Thankfully, tomorrow we don't have to worry about severe weather here in the area. We're going to be watching again Friday night into Saturday along a cold front that's going to put us in the 20s Sunday morning. But of course, today, stay weather aware, have ways to receive weather warnings in case any fire up. Thankfully, we'll finally have some dry weather by the end of the weekend.